Aloha, everybody, and welcome to the Leo New Moon Distant Reiki Share. I am so happy to be together in circle with everybody. It feels so good. It feels like it's been a long time since the last new moon. I don't know, there was some kind of time dilation effect. So, really, really grateful to be here for the start of another cycle together. And just a couple announcements before we look at the astrology of the rest of July and then looking at the astrology of August as well. So this month or this moon cycle, August 11th, I'm teaching an awesome class, another Astro Reiki class. This one is on a very powerful transit. Venus and Jupiter will be conjunct in Cancer zodiac sign, and they are making a conjunct alignment to Sirius star, the brightest star in the sky in Canis Major constellation. This is an incredible alignment. And in this class, we will be combining intuitive galactic astrology and a Reiki journey to really bring in and receive the blessings, the magic, the miracles, the wisdom, everything that wants to come through this transit. It is just magnificent and majestic and immensely sweet. So, really looking forward to that. And on August 22nd, we will have our next new moon distant Reiki share. This is for the Virgo new moon. And interestingly, looking ahead at next month, we have a we have two Virgo new moons. So we have one August 22nd. It's at about 0 degrees Virgo. It's conjunct Regulus. It's going to be very powerful. And then the next moon cycle actually starts with another Virgo new moon, but that new moon is a solar eclipse. It's a south node of the moon solar eclipse. So we have two very strong lunar Virgo portals coming up in August and September. So just to understand that that is what's coming. TaylorNorrisReiki.com is where you can connect more with me and learn about the classes, the distant Reiki shares, and of course, the one-on-one astrology readings that I offer and Reiki journey sessions that I offer if you're looking for greater self-understanding, greater clarity, and any kind of healing and empowerment and guidance at this time to understand where you are in your cycles and really going deeper into your multidimensional self. So, looking at the end of July, today, of course, we have the new moon in Leo. It is exact at 9:10 a.m. Hawaii time, where I'm not even located currently, which I did all the times for Hawaii, and that's about an hour from now at the time of this recording. So about an hour from now, we have that exact new moon in Leo, 2 degrees Leo, 7 minutes. I have the lovely pictures of the lion on screen here, the lion for beautiful Leo zodiac sign, very heart-centered energy, very creative, playful, joyful, free-spirited, sovereign, royal, regal. And in our journey today, we are going to be connecting with the higher frequencies of Leo. We'll be connecting with the sun. The sun is the planetary guide, although the sun is not a planet, the light, the ruler of Leo zodiac sign. So we're really going to be connecting in with the sun, the solar angels, and also, as you can see, just later today, 2032, so later on beyond this new moon, the sun will exactly oppose planet Pluto. So in our journey, we're also going to connect with Pluto. And Pluto is a representation of the soul. It's a representation of our deeper psyche, our unconscious, what is below the level of our surface day-to-day reality and awareness. Pluto is connected to very deep, immense power, this regenerative source of death and rebirth and ascension. It's associated with the phoenix, which dies and is reborn from its ashes. So we will definitely be have the opportunity to connect with Pluto in the Reiki journey. And interestingly, too, I talked about this in the new moon video. Both of these, all three, the sun and the moon conjunct, making that new moon, and Pluto in Aquarius, are all in very powerful alignment with Altair star in Aquila constellation. And this is the great eagle. This is the great galactic eagle in our beautiful Milky Way galaxy. So we will be connecting with Aquila and Altair in the eagle energy as well, receiving that higher view of ourselves, of our lives, of the earth, of the solar system. So I'm really looking forward to that. July 30th, profound day of healing. Chiron in Aries will be stationing retrograde at 27 degrees Aries in 9 minutes. And so for about right now, we're in like the pre-Chiron station retrograde energy, and then a week after, so for like the next 2 weeks, we are really in this like incubation chamber of very profound healing energy. Chiron in myth is the healer, the teacher, the mentor, this very powerful guide for us. And so this is a wonderful time to, engage in self-healing, to engage in loving service, to ask yourself how you're being guided to step into your own inner healer, teacher, mentor, guide. And, it is really this time of empowerment. Chiron in Aries is all about self-empowerment, identity, and claiming your right to exist as you, to be as you, claiming your right to your own innate sovereignty, your strength, your sense of self-direction. And this is really powerful too, as Chiron is also aligned with the dwarf planet Eris. They're both co-present with Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So we have like very, very powerful planetary energies in Aries right now. And Chiron, of course, is a centaur. It's not a planet. It's like a comet, a dwarf planet. We don't really know exactly. It's one of these centaur beings. We don't know how long it'll even be in our solar system. It's such a gift that it's even here and we know about it and we can connect with this great being that's in between. Its orbit is in between Saturn and Uranus. So it's really connecting us as that rainbow bridge between Saturn, the boundaries, the rules, the structures, the systems of three-dimensional reality, the physicality, the Lord of Karma, the Lord of Time, and planet Uranus, which is all about, well, forget all of that. Let's be free. Let's be completely liberated. Let's charge into the future. Let's charge into the greater galactic, the greater cosmos, and really lead the way into something that is new and innovative and bright and groundbreaking and very, very awakening energy. So we love Chiron. I love Chiron. Happy to connect with this energy at the end of July. July 30th, so that same day, we have another beautiful alignment here. Venus will finish her time in Gemini zodiac sign and she will enter Cancer. And Venus in Gemini has been very playful, light, bright, social, doing all the things, going all the places, learning all the things, talking, discussion, very ideas oriented, mental energy. In Cancer, Venus is all about the home and the family and the roots and the sanctuary and emotional security, divine mother. So it really has a very nice matching of Venus's divine feminine energy with Cancer zodiac sign, the sign of the divine mother. And this can really bring about a lot of blessings, a lot of healing, a sense of like slowing down, going within, tuning into our dreams, beautifying the home, enjoying being at home, and Yeah, this is really, really wonderful. And Venus entering Cancer, she will then be co-present with Jupiter in Cancer, Jupiter, the expansive planet, and she will be inching closer and closer to that exact conjunct alignment with Jupiter on August 11th. And she will also be activating alignments with the stars of Sirius. So Sirius B, Mersum star, and then Sirius A when she joins Jupiter in that alignment. So galactic contact with the Syrians, very much possible, very much supported now. Venus is our listening, is our receiving. So we could really be in that receptivity to ancient memories of, our times on the earth, prehistory, deep past, ancient Lemuria, all of these things, and also connecting with our star family in Sirius. And the Sirius energy has been very, very present and very, very accessible with Jupiter in Cancer. And really, it feels like with Venus in Cancer, it's going to be even more accessible, more present, and more like waking up those ancient memories within ourselves, within our meditations, our journeys, any kind of spiritual practices, in the dream time, in walks, being in nature, being quiet, being still. So this is just so beautiful. We're ending July very beautifully, very powerfully, and this is also supported by the sun and Mercury together. This is called Cazimi, Mercury Sun conjunction Cazimi at 9 degrees of Leo zodiac sign. And this is a moment of mental reset, of illumination, of realignment. This is where we can offer thought forms that no longer serve us into the light of the sun and bring in those new ideas, those new inspirations, that sense of our being in our bright mind, our illuminated mind, and connecting to insights, inspirations, and really even, it's at 9 degrees of Leo. So connecting into the intelligence of our heart is very possible and supported here, as well as Mercury's mental energy is kind of like sublimated and channeled through our heart's wisdom, our heart's intelligence. And we can even, experience or intend for greater heart mind coherence and clarity and unification within those more of our mental and emotional bodies, our heart-centeredness. And yeah, this is really fabulous here. And this is with Mercury still in its retrograde conjoining the sun. So we'll look at Mercury retrograde in a moment here because it's finishing up. Good news. In August, Mercury retrograde does finish up. So we start August 1st with Venus in Cancer. So she's going to enter Cancer, new sign, new vibe, and she's immediately going to square Saturn and Neptune in those very early degrees of Aries. And this is a first quarter square of Venus. At this time, we may be compelled to take actions, Venusian type of actions, divine feminine, very intuitively guided actions. This could be a time of realignment of our relationships, of our values. This could be financial as well, thinking about our financial health, our prosperity, our relationships within our creativity with an eye on the long term Saturn, the longer term trajectory, and also a spiritual groundedness here with Neptune, a more spiritually evolved, expanded, divine love, opening into greater receptivity to divine love here. So August, we start August very, very powerfully, and this can be a reality check. It can be a reassessment, but with it, the reality check component coming through Saturn, but it's with Neptune. So whatever Saturn might be saying no to, Neptune could be saying yes to. So it's a really, really Saturn and Neptune together. This is like the planetary pair, of very unlike, dissimilar energies together. It really is offering us such a powerful integration moment of 3D reality and structure and physicality and the old world Saturn with everything that's beyond that Neptune, with the higher dimensions and higher consciousness, the invisible realms, with our dream time and everything that ordinarily Saturn would say, no, 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 that's not worth your time. That doesn't really exist. Neptune is all about all of that and is this, beacon of divine love, and Saturn, of course, ruling time and karma and things like that. With being with Neptune, it's like time dissolving, time feeling different, karma dissolving, us really getting this sense of reset. So Venus here in alignment here in the square at the beginning of the month. Later on in the month, she is going to change sign in Leo, and she's actually going to be making harmonious flows of energy, harmonious geometries to Saturn, Neptune. So this is an ongoing process we're in August with Venus and this planetary pair of Saturn, Neptune in Aries. August 6th, we have Mars that's been in Virgo for what seems like too long. Especially since we have the south node of the moon in Virgo as well. And this could have brought up a lot of cleansing, a lot of purification. This could have brought up a lot of different changes in energy level, a medical astrology doozy kind of setup. But also a really powerful realignment of our divine masculine, of our motivation, of our willpower, with an orientation towards spiritual liberation and higher, more exalted and ethereal kinds of pursuits as well. Mars entering Libra, very different. This is like Libra, it's a Venus ruled sign. Mars is our divine masculine planet, the warrior god. And with Mars in Libra, this is a warrior of peace and justice and truth and balance and wholeness and fairness. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out collectively. But on a personal level, this could be, a really good time to come into greater balance, to come into greater harmony, and to be really vigilant and cognizant and protective of your own personal peace and peace in relationships, and really holding that vibration and frequency of peace very powerfully. And Mars in Libra is going to be making some very powerful alignments. So right out the gate, it is going to trine Uranus August 8th, and it will also be opposing Saturn and Neptune in Aries on August 8th and 9th. And so this is actually making a kite formation. And this, if you notice here too, this is right around Lionsgate, the 8/8 portal, August 8th, when the energies of Sirius are very, very strong, very potent, and when we can receive very powerful DNA healing, activation, upgrades, and all of the ascension related um, activations that could be possible at this time. We could really, I mean, this feels like a very, very powerful portal. August 8th, 9th, and then going into the 10th and the 11th. This does feel like this is kind of the like climax times of this next month. Yeah, I would say that particular week or few days of August, very, very powerful here. August 8th, it's also, so it's Lionsgate portal. We have Mars opposing Saturn and basically Neptune as well. And we have a full moon in Aquarius, and this is at 16 degrees Aquarius, 59 minutes. And I will do a separate video on that. But just to say, it's making this alignment with, you see in this picture here of the constellations, this is Urania's mirror. She has beautiful drawings of all the different constellations. And this is constellation Delphinus, the dolphin. And there's a star in Delphinus called Swallowson. Swallowson. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. That's how I say it, Swallowson. It's in the dolphin constellation. So we have this very playful, beautiful, joyful spirit of the dolphin. And the dolphins and the whales and the sea creatures are very connected in to the Sirius energy. So it's a yet another under the sea, watery realms and connecting in with our joy, our playfulness, our light, our sense of freedom, our sense of companionship to the dolphins and the whales. They have their soul families and their pods that they travel with. And this does feel like a very beautiful and powerful, activating realignment, reorientation type of a time period and full moon. And I do expect powerful energies and upgrades and galactic transmissions to definitely be coming through at this time. So that is also highlighted here. Mars will sextile Pluto as well. That's all part of this kite formation that is forming. And I will show y'all what that looks like. So it's a little less abstract. I'm going to share my screen with the astrology software. So I'm saying kite and you might be like, what the heck is she talking about? So this is today, and then we're going to move it forward. This is one day at a time per click. And we get to August 8th here. Let's see if I can find everybody. Okay, I know I have a lot drawn in, so it can be still kind of hard to see. This is Mars and Libra, and this is what's called the tail of the kite. Mars and Libra is in this grand air trine. Mars and Libra, Uranus and Sedna in Gemini, and then we have Pluto in Aquarius. The moon would have just passed through that too and been part of that grand trine in air. Mars and Libra exactly opposite Saturn, Neptune in Aries. And so it makes this big triangle here a grand trine. It makes this smaller triangle here. Different names for what this can be. Grand sextile is one way I've heard it called. That's what I tend to refer to it as, a grand sextile here. All of these blue lines are harmonious flows of energy. And then this opposition, of course, there's a sense of tension, of resistance, of integration that needs to take place. And this kite formation is a kite. It's an aspect pattern that has the possibility of mastery in it. And one of the most important integration points is whatever the tail of the kite is, which in this case is Mars and Libra. So connecting to that balance, that harmony, wholeness, grace, beauty, all the Libra things. Libra's so artistic and aesthetically oriented and really just very, very beautiful, Venus ruled energy here for us to connect with. So that is our kite. And you can see August 9th, it's still very much in operation. August 10th, August 11th. And then, let's see, this isn't going to show the full moon. It skipped. Oh, that went too fast. Let's see here. Okay, we're coming into the full moon here. Yeah. And then August 11th is where I would call your attention here. We have Venus and Jupiter in Cancer. And that's that really sweet day to circle on your calendar, come to the class with me or, or like go to the water, go enjoy the water on this day. This is like big, big sweetness here. Jupiter big, Venus sweet. Watch your blood sugar too. Medical astrology note here. But yeah, very, very powerful and beautiful day of Sirian activation, Sirius star energy. Multiple kites. Yeah, you mentioned that. Okay, I'll put it up back on screen so we can have a look because you are correct. I have Vesta, asteroid goddess Vesta drawn in, and she's right here. She's at 16 Scorpio, water sign, deep, Pluto ruled. And then we have a trine from Vesta going to the north node of the moon and the moon. And then a trine from those two in Pisces up to Venus and Jupiter in Cancer. So you see that's our grand trine here. And then the opposition is running from, let's see, yeah, the north node of the moon and the south node of the moon. And it looks like, yeah, the south node of the moon is making a sextile with Vesta. And then here, if we widen the orb, the degree range that we would allow, this would be a sextile from the south node of the moon to Venus, Jupiter. And certainly as Venus being the faster moving planet, she's going to keep scooting through Cancer and she will make that sextile more exact to the south node of the moon. So that would be a kite. And then that would also make the powerful integration point there, being the north node of the moon and the moon in Pisces. So Pisces energy connecting to the spirit and the our creative energies and connecting to our, the invisible realms and the dream time and the magical and the mystical and our empathy and our clear senses and psychic abilities and our intuitions and all of that. So yeah, that's another very powerful kite there as well. And Vesta being very devoted to service and devoted to holding the sanctity of the spiritual fire and safeguarding that sense of our spiritual purpose, our calling. Vesta's extreme levels of devotion and commitment and really is willing to sacrifice, lower pleasures and base pleasures for whatever she is passionate about and whatever her soul purpose is and her soul intentions are for this lifetime. So yeah, very, very powerful here. Lots of lots of energy. Yeah, lots of patterns I could talk about just in this chart. August 11th, we will look at them in more depth. Definitely. Yeah, but well spotted there. It's a lot of lines. And you get it, which lines to look at the more you work with your astrology. You start seeing them. August 8th, we have the full moon. We're just looking at that. Mars opposed Neptune, Mars trine Pluto. And August 10th, this is another date to circle. So Mercury direct. Mercury will be stationing direct at 4 degrees Leo in 14 minutes. So that will officially end our Leo Mercury retrograde period, and things should be proceeding as usual from then on out. And this can be a time of like new that heart wisdom, heart mind coherence, all of that really connecting in a bigger way, creative inspiration, ideas, and yeah, really tuning into the wisdom of your heart here. Very, very powerful. And it's stationing direct almost it's 2 degrees orb opposition to Pluto. So Mercury, Pluto, this is like direct soul communications. This is also, on a global perspective, like truths coming to light, secrets coming to light, scandals coming to light, all of these things that may have been hidden coming to light. But we can also see that on a personal level where maybe like buried memories and things that were kind of lurking below the surface of awareness come to light, and we can actually work with those more consciously at this time. So spiritual communication, very, very highlighted here. August 11th, we looked at that Venus, Jupiter conjunct Sirius. August 14th and 17th. So Mercury in its, you know, going back direct now is going to make 2 sextiles to Mars, which will be in Libra then. And that's where we have this synergy between Mercury, our mind, our thoughts, our ideas, our plans for the future, and Mars, who's actually going to take the action, actually going to take the initiative and can execute whatever those ideas are. This could also be, passionate communication. Yeah, really feeling like excited and jazzed about something. Awesome to see those two working together. Lovely. This could also be very activating, active, active energy because it is in fire and in air as well. Passionate, inspired, creative, generative, and fast, speedier. Yeah. August 22nd, the sun enters Virgo, so we've had our fun in Leo time, and it's time to get practical. It's time to get to business here in Virgo. It's time to think about, being of service and what needs to get done and what's on the to-do list, and how our heart-centeredness and our heart wisdom can now be integrated into systems and processes and analysis and the left brain and all the different practicalities. So very, very beautiful transition here with our sun introducing us to Virgo season. And on that same day, we have Venus square Chiron and the new moon in Virgo. I will make a separate video on that. That is going to be a really beautiful new moon. It is aligned to Regulus, one of the royal stars in Leo constellation. It's the heart of the lion. So we do have that continued heart energy, and Regulus is a star very connected to the galactic animal kingdom and just absolutely beautiful, fantastical realms of consciousness and different star beings and star peoples and star animals too. One other thing to note here I have on screen, August 24th, this is when Mercury is going to leave its shadow zone. So it's going to be embarking on new territory in Leo zodiac sign. So 15 degrees, 34 minutes of Leo is where it's stationed retrograde back a few weeks ago. And so it's going to pass over that same degree point and then be headed into new territory. So once again, if you have any planets or points between 4 and 16 degrees of Leo, they will be activated by Mercury at this time. And this could be like flashes of insight, downloads, clarity, messages, increased communications. This could be more emails, more text messages, more phone calls, more things like that, more paperwork, even all kinds of things possible here. But that is to say, our minds will be, our minds and our communications will be reaching beyond where they went to last month. We will be in new territory here. Venus squaring Chiron, I'll talk more about that in the new moon video, but that is another powerful chironic alignment that is speaking about divine feminine healing, essentially Venus divine feminine, Chiron the healer, teacher, mentor, guide. And this does also feel like a really powerful time to consider our own sense of inner worth and abundance consciousness and the resources, the wisdom, the value that you contain in your beingness, in who you truly are at a deep and authentic and pure level. And this is, again, this is from Venus will be in Cancer and Chiron will be in Aries. So it is a first quarter square. So we may be taking an action out of a renewed and heightened sense, in a more truthful sense of our own self-worth and our own, like feeling good about ourselves, and feeling like, we're able to see ourselves as others see us, and not as we see ourselves with all our flaws and problems and issues and things, but to have like a more objective sense of our worth. This can be a very, very tender, also healing alignment here. Yeah. So that's what I'll share about the astrology for now. August is another big month. It has that crescendo, or that climax, that peak with the Venus Jupiter conjunction. So really, my best advice is just to open your heart to blessings, miracles, magic, abundance, possibilities, doors opening, things working out, having a positive perspective, keeping your vibration really high, and just seeing what happens, being open to positive results, because that is definitely in the background and in the foreground all August. So, yeah.